Right, just get some warmth in the building. It's been wet. We've had our first storm of the season, Storm Amy. Wasn't terrible. The worst of it was further north. It was north of Scotland. We were South Scotland, but it was quite gusty. I haven't looked out the front to check our trailer tent, our wonderful, okay, not wonderful trailer tent. If it survived, I may think it's better than it is, but if it hasn't, well then, it's fine. I unpegged it last week to air it out and to give it some fresh air, and I've not obviously realising that Storm Amy was on its way. That snuck up on us. The yellow warnings didn't appear till 2 or 3 days before. So shall we go around and have a look and see if the trailer tent has survived? I've already emptied the buckets. Gallons of water, it's fair to say. A lot of water. And I've put some more tarps up. There's water coming down in between the rooms. There's a wee room behind kind of the stairwell. So I've put a tarp up there as well to catch water because it's coming down into the kitchen and making that, well, to be fair, it's not making it any worse. Well, it is, if that's possible. I can see it through the trees. It seems still to be upright. Do you know, mind you, the trailer does weigh an absolute ton. Shall I show it to you? Indomitable, standing against the storm. A lot of these trees are not in good shape. So there's always a degree of blowdown that we get. It's quite sheltered here. This. Let's do a circumnavigation. So I laid that out. That's still there, surprisingly. No tears or rips. That looks okay. I did leave the guys pegged out, although there's hugely strong nylon. Ooh, the spider. It wasn't even a big spider. What am I jumping for? I'll leave that spider there. So there you go. Cobwebs on the top. Let's unzip it and see what happens. Before I unzip it, we're quite near to Jedburgh, and there was the Kingdom of Kubala, the people of, staying in their ancestral homeland, claimed next to an industrial estate just outside Jedburgh. And I thought they were on the other side of Jedburgh from us, but they weren't. They were on this side of Jedburgh. They were up the hill in some woodland there. I think they got moved twice, so once from where they were originally and then up to there. I kind of thought they might turn up here because we have all the amenities. Are they in our trailer tent? Kingdom of Kubala. Have you taken up residence in the Haywood trailer tent? No, is the answer. Good. To be honest, I never really expected to see them down here. 3 people. King Atahehe. That's actually his name, although maybe not quite said like that. King Atahehe. And a handmaiden from Texas. And a queen. The queen. A queen? I don't know. I forget her name. So yeah, I mean, we're too far out. We're about 50 miles from Jedburgh, and I think they don't. And I don't think the Kingdom of Kubala drives. I don't think they drive, so they wouldn't have been able to have gotten to the co-op for victuals or Wi-Fi for their TikTok posts. They wouldn't be able to do that here, and they're not here. So I don't actually know where they are. They got moved on, but they didn't say where they'd been moved on to. So our trailer tent is in one piece, and I'm really sort of pleased about that. We're actually camping down here next weekend, and I think probably what I'll do is I'll put some young people in here for a laugh. Standing indomitable against the storm. Well, sort of. I think the reason that it might have survived is because I did unpitch it, and I think the wind went under it, as opposed to like where it is just now. It would have just hit it head on. So I think that because it had some give, that's maybe why it survived. Also, the trailer weighs the same as the moon. I don't understand why trailer tents are really a thing. It could indeed only really appeal to a very particular kind of mindset, the kind of person, or the mind of a person who enjoys setting things up, you know, just so. You know, all your zips done up and then all your compartments attached and all. I couldn't be arsed. These sleeping platforms are... You just wonder what's lurking underneath there when you're trying to sleep. You just wonder, are there badgers? Do badgers have sharp teeth? Claws? People? There might be people under there. You just don't know. This is a new tool. We've needed a long reach small chainsaw to get up at branches and stuff for quite some time, so I've bought an Einhell long reach chainsaw. It's not a heavy duty chainsaw, it has to be said. It's electric, obviously. I don't have an awful lot of time for the whole Makita snobbery, or the people who, you know, wield or design our tools and look down their nose at you. Plumbers go for this, joiners go for that, DIYers go for the other. I draw the line at Parkside. It does have an Oregon bar, and it is an Oregon chain that came with it, and it has a reservoir for chain oil, which is always usually not a bad sign. And yeah, and that's it. It's got another section there, but I don't need it as long as that. This is supposed to be our path down to the, and as you can see, the trees here are somewhat thickened, so this needs trimmed here. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go bzzzt, and I have a sneaky suspicion that this won't be long enough. Let's see what happens. It is reassuringly heavy, I will say that for it. So where am I going to do this? I'm going to go there and see what happens. Can confirm it chops and cuts and trims. Lovely there, we're going to walk down there and we won't get poked in the eye anymore. So I need to just do some more tidying up here, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So what would I give it out of 10? I would give it a realistic 8 out of 10. Just purely subjective, but realistic. I have a habit of I buy things and I kind of use them in a manner that they were possibly not designed for. The Einhell chainsaw that I've got like a double battery chainsaw. I've had it for a while and I'm not joking, I have abused that chainsaw. It's had 2 bars, several chains, and it's such a good chainsaw. It's not an expensive chainsaw. I'm fairly sure that the chain speed isn't great compared to other more fancy, more expensive electric chainsaws, cordless chainsaws. I have just went through things way bigger than that. It says anything up to 4 inches, which I think is about 4 inches. It's about maybe, I'm holding a camera so I can't hold my other hand. I don't think you can do 4 inches with one hand. Anyway, listen, the point is that I always kind of overdo it with the tools. This, I think, is probably really good for any, thumb light pruning, I would say. Obviously, we would probably use it to chop trees down, but it's fine. The engine on it's the engine. The motor on it is, because it's got an engine, the electric motor on it probably isn't as powerful as it needs to be, but it was like 100 quid, so it wasn't massively expensive. It's another Einhell tool that I bought with my own money that no one sponsored me for, people at Einhell. We're camping here next weekend. What else do I need to do? Leave it with me. Bear with me. I never ever claimed to be a master craftsman. Whatever the opposite of a master craftsman is, that would be me. I am not a joiner or carpenter. I am terrible at this. I drop techie. I'm not very good, but I will have a bash. If it works and it's sturdy, it's not going to fall over and squash anyone, then fair enough. This is a shooting table. Cunningly, I've designed it based on the world famous Scottish haggis, which is an animal that lives in the hillsides of Scotland, in the Highlands, and sometimes in the Lowlands, although they're more common in the Highlands. And everyone knows that a haggis has retractable legs. A lot of people think that they're born with one side. They've got 4 legs. I mean, of course you knew that. A lot of people think that the left-hand side legs are shorter than the right hand side, or vice versa, and they're born like that. But actually not an awful lot of people know that they're retractable. So when they're running around hillsides, in order to maintain a level stance, they can retract like undercarriage 2 legs on one side, and that's what I've done with this table. So what I've done is, because it's on a hillside like a haggis, I've chopped the far away legs a little bit shorter than the legs that are closer. So that's what I did, and it's just like a haggis somehow in my mind. You'll notice that underneath, I don't know if you can see that, but I've put strengthening stanchions, posts, things, so that when people are leaning on it, it doesn't flex or collapse and kill them. So there it is. Oh, this tabletop thing is off a building site. When they're building houses, like 2-storey houses, the way they build them now is they just like have a framework around the outside of the house, and the builders don't put the stairs in. I assume it's so that the stairs don't get worn out or damaged. So the gap in the first floor between the ground floor and the first floor that usually has the stairs going up into it, it's blocked off with one of these. So we got a load of these. There's one, there's two there, that's another one there. So they're all from the different types of houses that they're building. The shower, again, use your imagination. The shower thing that we're building down there, again, it's these to block off the stairwells in these houses. The builders and the tradie people and all those people, you know, like listen to me thinking, trying to sound as if I know what goes on a building site. They go up the scaffolding on the outside and in through a window. I think that's what they must do. And I assume that it's to stop the stairs. If they build the stairs, if they put those in there, they'll maybe get worn out. I would have thought that if they didn't put anything on them, like carpet or anything. But it does make a pretty good shooting table. The thing about this is that it's a wee bit too low for me to get my elbows and to get comfy on it, but bear in mind we're shooting with young people, we're kids, and they're all about 4 feet tall, so they will be able to get their elbows. And cunningly, with my Haggis design, it's variable, so the shorter children can go at the far end and the taller children can come to this end and get. Do you see what I've done there? I think that's, do you know, I fully accept that I'm not a master craftsman, but I do think of just about everything. What we'll do is when we're down next weekend, we'll get the young people to move the targets. We might redesign some of them as well. We'll move these over to there. The reason we're moving it, by the way, is because we used to shoot from where this post is. We used to shoot from here, and we used to shoot this way. You can see the targets up through in the woods there. But the sun tracks through the sky here. It's not so bad in the winter, but basically we're shooting, if you're shooting in the afternoon, you're shooting directly into the sun, and if you're using any sort of a scope, you just can't see anything. So, and I may not be a master craftsman, but not an awful lot of people know this, but I'm a sniper, a professional sniper, hitman person, and everyone knows that whenever you're taking a shot, you want the sun behind you, maybe, or maybe to the side. You certainly don't want to be shooting into the sun, because that doesn't work. Right, that's it. That's 5 minutes of me blathering about a Haggis table. Right, I think I'm going to call it at that. The next video you'll see will hopefully be of the camp that we're having, because we need to have a camp and raise some money and get young people out. This is what we're all here for. This is our first camp that is open to anyone. So we've advertised it out with scouts. So we're going to actually use the insurance and all the stuff and the health and safety and all that stuff. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see you in the next video.